send you back to hell!
You ready for this?
What's going on, guys and gals, and welcome to Good Real Hunting. We're in for the good real, so you don't have to. It's your boy Brad, the Brett Man's over there, and welcome back to Slash It Out Live, where tonight we have an awesome matchup. We're going to have X, gonna give it to you, versus the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the OG from 1974. Highly comparable movies. They've been getting comparisons ever since X came out, so we thought, what the heck? X came out on Blu-ray, digital, wherever you get your movie services, and it's out. A lot of people have seen it. Today's a good day for it, Brett Man.
Dude, today is an excellent day when you can freaking enjoy two I feel like classic horror movies, because we all know 74 is going to be it's the classic that it is. But I have a feeling that this movie called X from A24 is going to be a damn instant classic with a high representation of the 2020s.
I would concur, man. I think it's definitely trending that direction to be an instant classic. Got a lot of followers right out the gate. A lot of praise when it came out. A lot of people have seen it this year. A lot of people like it. Even people who don't really dig A24 stuff traditionally really dug this movie. And just because it's a fun time. You know, it's really tailored to a larger audience, and it's a fun ride.
Hell yeah, it's a fun ride, and we can't have fun all by ourselves, so we gotta have some fun with the chat too. We got Mud Nelson, what's going on, my friend? And
welcome.
We also have Robert Long, what's going on?
Another welcome. Thanks for joining us on this fine Thursday evening.
Absolutely, in the Slash It Out house of Good Real Hunting, where we have officially begun our new era. Got a little bit of a background going on here, hopefully to add some more goodies soon. So I'm excited.
The goodies are good, and new era becomes, a little bit of everything. We've been updating everything here lately. We had, the new logo, new intros, everything, you name it. It's been great. We've really been having a good time. We have a new era of Slash It Out tonight too. We got a new kind of format for you guys, just because we've been playing around with a few things lately. So I'll go ahead and break it down for you, essentially what we're going to do. Before we did the debates, then it was kind of open. Now it's still pretty much open, but we're going to have it kind of lined out linearly. We're going to start with what both movies do well, what both movies don't do too well, what X does better in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then what Texas Chainsaw does better in X. And then at the end, we're going to give our final thoughts and reviews and our preference.
Yeah, absolutely. Freaking movie ratings too. And with the freaking new era of Good Real Hunting, with the new logo and all these brand new videos and these extracurricular activities, man, that we've been freaking starting lately, our subscribers and our views have been I wouldn't say skyrocketing, but they've been very consistent and very good. And that is because of you guys. And we appreciate you all so much. And I did a little bit of number crunching and researching. If we do hit 1K, we can have a super chat button, which we're not going to hound that on anybody, but it'll be there.
Yeah, nothing wrong with having one, man. That's always, it's better to have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that's my motto in life.
Sacramente. And also here, I just saw, is Adrian James. How's it going?
Adrian.
Brother Fluff, what's going on, dude? And then also, Mud Nelson is absolutely hammered. And trust me, freaking Leatherface hammered a couple of people in his movie.
I hope you're not that kind of hammered. Yeah, man. Thirsty Thursday. I get it. It's cool. Have a good time with it. So, yeah, man. That's awesome. Thanks for jumping in here.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we start, we'll go over some things coming up at the end that is our big highlights of stuff we want to be sure to get out. But I want to go ahead and address one thing, because we announced it yesterday. We got our Halo Scream review series. Brad, do you want to describe what that is real quick? We'll be sure to do this again at the end of the video as well.
I'll tell you exactly what it is, friends. This is going to be the largest Halloween review series in the history of YouTube. We're going to be joined by all these lovely people on the card here. And we're going to be doing, everybody, of course, will be on their own channel. So check out all their other channels. They're all good people, all good friends of ours. We've worked with them all before for the most part. And, we're doing we're starting July 20. What's the date? 20th?
25th.
Is it 20th? 25th. We're starting our Halloween review series, which means we'll be dropping a Halloween movie review every week up until the release of Halloween ends, and at which point we're going to review that and rank the franchise. And we're going to have a lot of time a lot of good times because we have some good skits planned out, like we did with Friday the 13th, and we're just stoked to share those with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you need a copy of the schedule, be sure just to message me. I'll provide you a copy. Or if you go on our social medias, the copy of the schedule is there as well.
Yes, it is.
Hell yeah. If they freaking Cole's excited, when's Cole not excited? Cole's our boy.
Hey, I'm excited too, man. I'm excited that you're excited, and I'm excited because I'm just pumped, man. I'm really excited. This is the Halloween stuff is stuff I've been wanting to do since we started, and we're really kind of busting into it, and it's been all good fun so far.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
and I'm glad we waited, just because everything like lined up perfectly with Halloween ends. So freaking excellent. And then Bud Nelson says it's my thirsty Thursday birthday. Well, dude, happy damn birthday to you, man. We hope it is a absolute great one.
Yeah, happy freaking birthday, man. What a good day for it. Nice day. I don't know where you're at, but it's nice outside today, even though it was a little warm.
And this is a nice transition right here. Halloween, titties, and murder. I'm in. And you know what? We're freaking in as well because we freaking got murder and titties with these two movies. So you would just want to go with our tail of the tape and let's freaking just get down to the nitty gritty.
Dude, 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the freaking first movie, and you had both of those items. That's cool. Yeah, man, I'm ready, man. Let's hit it up.
All right, here we go. So this is our tail of the tape. So Brad, anything that just strikes you? And the budget for X was a little hard thing to find. The only thing I could possibly find is 1 million. And with the way the movie was made, I actually give it to it that it looked like $1 million budget.
Yeah, honestly, I mean that seems a little low from a lot of the stuff we saw, but that's a credit to the filmmakers. They did a lot with what they had, and it really works. I think these are pretty evenly matched all around. The critic score is 95, 89 respectively between X and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Audience is not far off, 75 for X, 82 for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then so the budget just shits and gigs right here, Birdie, man. These budgets are pretty much even given inflation. Like it's like I remember looking this up for It Follows and comparing it to Halloween, which is the exact same comparison. It Follows was $1 million, Halloween was around 300,000, and it was pretty much the exact same with inflation. That was a couple years ago, so now it might be this might be even more of a low budget flick. So that's good. The numbers it brought in, often both of these movies were very profitable for the most part. And yeah, man, I think it's good all around.
And just a quick note, if you've seen Texas Chainsaw, both of those box office numbers are 31 million. It's just because Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 74 didn't get a worldwide release, so it had to still rely on the numbers of the good old US of A. But yeah, everything's pretty freaking solid. I don't blame Texas Chainsaw Massacre getting the better ratings and all that. Even though I feel like just over time, people are going to appreciate X, man. I really honestly feel that. And might be a little spoiler. I'll be defending X a little bit.
Well, shoot. I mean, X has a higher critic score, which is saying a lot, given how much Texas Chainsaw of a classic that is. It's saying quite a bit. To see a movie like this have a 95 from the critics is absolutely awesome, and it's a rare feat, and I think that's really good.
Hell yeah, and I think it's really good too. So, any other comments before we get down to our first category?
Negative.
All right, so let's freaking do it. The comment section is good for the moment. Which, guys, if you do have some questions, after we get through our 4 points, we would love to answer some of your guys' questions. So we'll star them and we'll save them towards the end of our Slash It Out episode. So Brad, let's go ahead and freaking do this with what both movies do well. So this is going to be again what both movies did well that we both like that have the similarities. So Brad, I'll let you freaking go first.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the atmosphere is done really well in both movies. You really feel the Texas vibes in both flicks, very solid. Obviously the atmosphere we get in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie was amongst the best that we've seen, especially at that time. Like it was, you could see the heat coming off the roads. All the actors were sweating. They were out there filming in the sun and getting wet and sweaty and all that stuff. And you could see that in the film. You could see that effort they put into it, which is really cool. But with X, what we get here is more Texas atmosphere than we've seen in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre since this original movie. For the most part, I think. I mean, we really feel this movie. They did such a good job with the camera work and everything like that to actually make this feel like a movie that was shot in, not just set in the 70s, but shot in the 70s too. It actually did kind of have that vibe to it with the way the colors were and everything like that, which is really cool. Which goes into the camera work a little bit as well, but that they both did well at that as well. But I think that's you think about the opening scene of X, right, where they go up, the sheriff's coming into the house, and it's like it's the aftermath, Stranger style, where you see everything that that went down, or the aftermath of everything, and it's just blood everywhere, and you see you can just kind of feel the environment we're in. It's very reminiscent of the opening of Texas Chainsaw, just kind of getting open thrust into this world with all these bones and skeletons and all this other stuff, and feeling that Texas heat. So I really appreciate what both movies did in that sense.
Thrust. But anyways, sorry, I just had to get that out there. And before we continue on, I just now realized too, X is a 2022 movie, and we will be spoiling the shit out of it. So if you have not seen X, we strongly give you warning, because again, we will spoil this. So you have been warned. So yeah, Brad, that's actually what I have written down too. It's kind of like the Texas atmosphere, which you're talking about, the heat. Yeah, just getting that damn Texas heat in the summertime, man. That's what I had written down. Another thing I have written down too is just creepy feelings, dude. Freaking, we got Pearl and oh man, what's the old fart's name? Henry.
Henry's a good name.
I'm just gonna call, look it up real quick. I'm just gonna call him Henry at the moment. But yeah, Pearl and Henry, very creepy elderly couple. And just the look of them just really brings off that creepiness, and just their behaviors as well. And then of course, Howard, that's it. Yeah, so Howard and Pearl, creepy as shit. While also you got your Sawyer family with the freaking Pops, and you got freaking Leatherface, you got the hitchhiker. They're creepy as hell too. So both movies do a really excellent job just portraying the creepiness of our villains that our protagonists have to overcome.
They do. They definitely have that going for both of them. Have that going for it. And I think that's awesome. I know I touched on it already. The cinematography in general for both flicks is really good. The camera work, the direction in general, I guess you could say, all of it, it really culminates to something really cool. From the weird edits we get in X, the kind of the stylistic edits that they throw in there to kind of show you two different things going on at once, just quickly and rapidly. I thought that was really cool. That started, obviously we get the shot of the gator scene when Mia Goth is out there in the pond, and we see the gator coming up behind her with that above awesome freaking shot, one of the best shots of the movie. That first was introduced to us through a little quick edit that comes in place, just half a frame or whatever, while something else was going on, and then we kind of cut back to that moment, which is really cool. I like that. And then Texas Chainsaw Massacre as well, for the time, especially 1974, I thought it was pretty groundbreaking what they were able to do. They had these nice long takes to kind of get you into the same mindset of the characters, to almost make you feel like a character in this van, especially like in the opening when they're riding the van into to town. That was really cool. Long takes in there to make you feel like you're part of the crew. I really like that. And they both of them give you a chance to kind of soak in that setting and atmosphere, of these shots of landscapes and things like that, of Texas and all that. It was really neat.
Yeah, absolutely. It's freaking neat. So excellent job with the camera angles, like you stated. Real quickly, boom, there's Emily. Hey, what's going on, Emily? And what is up, Sarah? How are you doing? Howdy, y'all. This is a tough one to pair up.
Yes, it is. Very tough, man. Both of these movies are freaking awesome.
Oh man, we just got two more people just pop up. Thank you guys so much. Gory Tiger, what's going on, my friend?
Gory.
We got Mia, our friend right now, but our enemy on the 27th. But we got to be nice to her. So what's up, Mia? Okay, who's on what's team? I'm team undecided right now. We'll reveal that towards the end of like what movie we prefer and like the movie ratings and our overall thoughts as our category number 5. But yeah, I do have the poll up in the chat too. Let me go ahead and check that just to see what you are saying. With 8 votes, damn, I'm actually surprised right now. 8 votes, Texas Chainsaw Massacre at 75%.
Wow, but
I
it
know
is a classic. It's a
I'm
classic.
surprised.
Yeah, it's a classic. That's fine. That's fair.
But hey,
That's
no, absolutely, that's fair. Let's see here. Oh yeah, and kind of like what you were saying with that shot with the alligator, with one of the best shots in the movie. To me, that's easily one of the best tensions, building scenes in the movie too. And I feel like that's what both movies do great is building up that tension, so you don't know when the bad shit is going to happen. If and when it does, like it nails you right where it needs to nail you. So we got like that gator shot. We got freaking grandma almost
not in
getting
the
hit
stables,
by
by the way.
the truck with Don't Fear the Reaper. Freaking RJ, God, he had a rough night. And then of course, when they were Texas Chainsaw Massacre with those group of people going into the Sawyer house, and we don't know where freaking Leatherface was going to pop up,
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so like both movies too. Oh, and then of course Franklin and Sally going through that dark forest. Yeah, that oh man, talk about tension right there. So yeah, high remarks on tension. And then I got a freaking what's going on, Paul? Hopefully I'm pronouncing your last name right. Revere. The alligator shot was classic. Yeah, absolute. Did I mess that up?
No, you got it right. It was just funny
Okay.
because of the name
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
I know. I'll try to get names right, and I am awful with names, so it is not intentional. But yeah, Brad, do you have any ever what both movies do well? Oh, Paul, I'm so sorry. I really am, dude. Like shit.
It's a good
I'm
effort.
just going to call you Paul. So Paul, we appreciate you being in the chat with us and hanging out.
Yes, absolutely. Welcome. So yes, you were saying about the
Tension building.
tension. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of things in the movie, in Texas Chainsaw that you were talking about. A lot of stuff you already mentioned. Other little things too, like when the grandpa is hitting the Sally in the head with the hammer. I mean, that's like you don't know when the death stroke's coming at that point. You know what I mean? Like little things like that just kind of build that up a little bit. And I thought both of these movies did a really good job building that.
God, speaking of tension building right there, freaking Paul just got us right there. So no,
he got one of us. Right. We'll say that. He did get one of us.
Hell yes, I'm taking that for the win. So there we go.
You've never seen Paul Revere's ride?
I know the British were coming.
There you go. All right. I think both of those did a really good job as well. Sarah said that she actually thinks she might be Team X, as crazy as it sounds, but I like it.
Like as much as I got to know Sarah, I thought she'd be more towards the classics, but that's awesome that you're going towards the X route right there. So hell yeah. I thought honestly she would be a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan, like bigger than X.
Well, it's a tough freaking matchup, man. It's it's a tough matchup. And of course, Flamethrower said that he told y'all. Let me just read it, not try to change tenses because that'll confuse me. I told y'all, murder and nudity bring folks in every time. Yes, it does. Most times those two go hand in hand. And this was no exception in this case. Going along with that, I think that, kind of going off that, I think both movies do really good job with the kills. Man, I think obviously X has a little bit more gore to it because it's more modern. You're expecting that. You get the freaking knife to the throat with the old lady. The first one, which by the way, that kill came out of freaking nowhere. I know we kind of saw it in the trailer, but at the same time, like it literally like you did not expect that from this lady. I mean, she's like 90 something and just freaking out of nowhere comes up there with a knife and starts murking the dude. And it was brutal, dude. After he falls on the ground, she gets on top, starts murking him. That was awesome. That was a good kill. Good effects. Again, going back to that low budget, this was impressive. I really I think what they did here was awesome.
That was my favorite shot of the movie.
Yeah, it was. And then the red, whenever the blood's covering up the headlights and everything's turning red, it was beautiful. Again, going back to that camera work, right? They're creative. I mean, you also get Bretman. You know about the gator kill, right?
Oh,
the gator one from X.
Yeah, the gator. Sorry, shit. We're Tennesseans. We're not supposed to
do
that.
Never.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Ever. again.
I'll sorry, I'll just put myself in timeout real quick.
But yeah, the pitchfork in the eyes, the old lady getting her head squished, all these are really gory, awesome kills. Texas Chainsaw, on the other hand, was a lot less gory, given that it came out in the 70s, more subjective, but it's just as effective. Like, it's really just as like it's wrenching, man. Whenever Pam gets put on that hook, or not, no, I'm sorry, is it Pam, or it was she got put on the hook.
Here I'm looking.
It was her that got put on the hook. Kurt got chopped up, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Kurt. I think Kurt got chopped up, bitch. He can't work.
Yeah, so they get put on the hook. It's super freaking just intense and nasty, and you can feel that freaking hook going into your back.
Yeah, you're right. It was Pam, so good call.
Yeah, every time that she gets put on there, though, you can just kind of feel that happening to yourself, man, because the sound effects, everything, it's brilliant. Franklin getting chopped up over there. These kills are just so visceral and whatnot, you know?
Oh, dude, absolutely. And I had a mark. Let's see here.
Well, Rory did say, Gunnar Hansen said there was only about a gallon of fake blood used in Texas Chainsaw. Absolutely. They didn't use a lot of it at all. It was very limited, but it's still very effective.
Again, that freaking low budget, man. I did have kills in the just going ahead a little bit with the exit. What X did better with kills. I'm going to take that back because she made some great points too. So I am now putting that particular part into what both movies do well. And it was indeed the kills because both movies offer unique kills, some kills we've never really even seen before. Especially freaking the freaking producer and he didn't see that pitchfork coming, but yeah. Oh, it's funny too.
Stock is no longer hard.
Actually, Aaron came over yesterday to help hang all this up, and I got him to watch X last night. And oh, dude, he was blown away with. And he jumped a couple of times too, which is freaking excellent. But no, the last thing I have with both movies do well, it's the freaking third act, man. When shit gets crazy. Both films just incredible third acts because we got with X, we got the freaking showdown between Maxine and Pearl, laying all that freaking go at it. And then we also, of course, at the end of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Sally freaking gets away from Leatherface and also the hitchhiker. The hitchhiker is no longer a hitchhiker, he's dead meat. Yeah, so he got freaking all freaking broken up there, and then just Sally just barely escaping the Leatherface. So both movies do an excellent job with the third act. And before with your comment, Jeffrey Miller, what's going on, my friend? I haven't seen Texas movie. Is it any good? Do like X. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the classic 74, is. To me, I think it's excellent. Just like a movie that's just made at a time where it fits with the 70s. And I easily suggested giving it a watch.
Absolutely. I mean, it really paved the way for a lot of things, X included. X is very much inspired from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So definitely go back and check it out. But going back to the hitchhiker made it out alive, though, right? He didn't get murked. Because he was chasing Sally out. Oh, he got ran over. Okay.
Got ran over by a 14-wheeler.
Yeah. Not a 14.
I'm going to say it's a 16-wheeler. So.
No.
Damn it. How many
18.
Wheels are on those
There's
things?
18. There's 18 of those sons of bitches. But no, you're right. That happened I remember him chasing Sally out, but then he does get completely flattened out like a son of a bitch. So that's a good point. I don't think I had that on here, but I think that's both of the third acts are very strong, very good indeed. Yeah. We talked about X, all the crazy stuff going on. Texas Chainsaw, dude. When Leatherface is chasing around Sally, that shit's good. It goes on a little bit too long, in my opinion, but I think there's some really good moments in that, like when she runs into the house. Leatherface bust in after her. He really fills up that frame and just really kind of makes you feel really claustrophobic in there because he's right on her ass at that point. I'm talking right on the ass end. And
I found the ass end.
We really got something here. But he's right up there, and it's really intense, that whole scene. And then because he's fast as fuck too. Leatherface is, and he's like right on her ass the whole time, which I thought is good. And then the dinner scene is one of the most, obviously the most nerve-wracking scenes of all time, especially at that time. We haven't seen anything like that before, so that was really cool too.
And that freaking cast was absolutely miserable during that dinner table scene with how they set that up. Have you ever heard a story how they set that up?
Yes, I have, but let's hear it.
Okay, because I watched a documentary of it not too long ago, and how they shot that. First off, it was like around like 90 degrees outside. Freaking, it's hot as hell. And so you figured they shoot the dinner scene at nighttime, because of dinner in the evening. Nope, they shot it in the middle of the day. They had to get these black curtains to put over the freaking windows because of that bright light. Because they had to make the scene, dark and in the evening and all that. Which with they put those curtains over the light, it made that room even hotter. Like they shot like the room was measured at one point over 100 degrees.
Dude,
So that cast got absolutely freaking like they were sweating their asses off. So when you saw the sweat, it's not them being nervous. Well, it is that too, but character wise, but it's also just those actors and actresses just being absolutely miserable.
Let me tell you something else. And that sounds miserable. This is incredibly random, but it's also kind of, I mean, honestly, I don't know if I should tell it at this point, but at this point I brought it up, so I have to.
Okay,
so
go
the
for it.
Devil's Rejects, the the infamous hotel scene at daytime was actually shot at nighttime. They did the opposite. They put bright ass lights up at the windows and made it freaking shine in and make it look like daytime outside. So yeah,
Tim, and I owe you a watch on that. So my apologies, I haven't got to it yet.
Hell yes, you do, because it's excellent. Lastly, here, I think the direction, again, I mentioned is really good, but just wanted to get a shout out to both Tobe Hooper and Ty West here, because I think with a lesser director for both of these movies, they would have been B movies, because it's just very much a very kind of classic, wrong place, wrong time, shit hits the fan, everybody dies kind of story. But because of their direction, especially Ty West here, coming in here in 2022, bringing us this classic tale, but putting so much freaking style into it that actually gives it a life and a heartbeat. I think it's really impressive. I think it turns these movies into, obviously both of them, it turns them into classics, whereas they very easily could have been just another B horror movie. So I just a testament to both of them. Tobe Hooper bringing us that visceral atmosphere and stuff, going places we've never seen movies go before at that time. It's impressive.
Oh, dude, absolutely impressive. And yeah, so big props to Tobe Hooper and for Ty West. So thank you for making excellent movies. And a movie Cole kind of wants to say is y'all don't even want to know about a 14-wheeler.
No, we don't. That's not good. That's what that is a flatbread with a flatbed with a bunch of freaking spare tires in the back.
Yeah, so it is not good. And then Brevor Fluff says, nice Tremors reference there, Brad.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. I do.
And then Return of the Living Fled. What's going on, Kyle? Unfortunately, there's pricks out there that just, for some reason, just would not leave our boy Kyle alone, and they got access to his Flet Lives YouTube account. So this is his brand new channel. So if you have not switched over and subscribed to him, please go ahead and do that now, because we're trying to build Kyle right back up there.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the new one. Good man, good friend. And
Return to Living Flet. Absolutely. And Kyle, if you want to drop your link in the chat, go for it, my friend. We do not mind that at all. And then ATGNAT podcast. What's going on, my friend? You say that. I'm just going to spell it letter by letter. Haven't seen X, but if you guys are comparing it to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, then I need to see it. Absolutely, you do. And be careful for the rest of this stream. We are doing spoilers for X.
Yes, absolutely. So just be cautious of that, but definitely check it out whenever you get a chance, man.
Yeah, because you will easily see the comparisons between the two. And then plus that's also what we're discussing tonight. So Brad, are you ready to go into the next category?
I think so, man. I think that's good. I feel good with that.
Yeah, dude, I feel like we could keep going with what both movies do well, but we just want to make sure we tackle the other parts of the conversation. So let's go ahead and go with this one. What both movies don't do well. So this is going to be the category of what both of these movies don't do a very good job with. And dude, that's a freaking hard one to do because that is what we're pretty much what we call nitpicking at this point
Yes,
with
for both
both
movies.
movies. I'm sure for next week, Slash It Out, it might be a little bit easier to freaking find what both movies don't do well, which we'll go over that towards the end. But the only real thing, Brett, I found is sometimes kind of, I think you kind of touched upon it a little bit, what we call pacing issues. Where some scenes go longer or where there's some scenes are short. And the kind of notes I have for X, it's a very, very small issue with pacing. I feel like some scenes going on a little too long because it is an hour 45 minutes. I feel like it easily could have been an hour 35. I feel like they could have taken 10 minutes off. But again, very, very small nitpick. If in the ever want Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's the first half of the movie. To me, it's just it really, really drags for me.
You know, honestly, that's literally the only thing I had written down here as well. Is just the pacing, and that's nitpicks for both of them. You already said it. For me, a couple things in X go on a little bit long. It takes a while to get into the good stuff, if you will, but not at all. I mean, it's not a huge glaring issue. It's just a little bit of a nitpick, just to throw something here.
Mm-hmm.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think a little bit of that third act goes on as good as it is. I think a little bit of it goes on a little bit too long. I think I guess another way to describe it is I think they kill everybody except for Sally a little bit too early, and then the Sally chase it goes on forever, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have been nice to see some of those other characters maybe survive a little bit longer and whatnot. But that's really it. I mean,
actually, I thought about this because to me, it could potentially be a golden rule opportunity if they did it. I just never, for some reason, just now thought of this with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Sally never found any of her friends. Because you know how in most horror movies that the final girl, the final guy will find their group of friends and all that. And just, especially with Friday the 13th, that's like the most popular thing they do with it.
Shelly's dead.
Shelly's dead. Oh my God. Chili or whatever that freaking guy's name is. She's Chili. But
Chuck.
Chuck. But no, so that's kind of crazy. And just that was missing in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and thus result in longer Sally scenes that could have easily been reduced. So I do agree with that.
Yeah, just to kind of break that up a little bit. And Sarah comes in here. She says, I would say for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the only nitpick I have is poor character decisions. X, honestly, don't have any nitpicks. That X, we'll get into that here in a second. But yes, I will see there are some questionable decisions in the Texas Chainsaw character decision scale.
Thank goodness we are not doing freaking Strangers Pray at Night, or we'll be here all freaking night.
Don't get me started.
And then ATG and AT, thanks for the warning. Keep up the great work, fellas. Dude, thank you so much. We try our best, man.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for jumping in, and enjoy X if you watch it. And
make it a weekend thing. I know we got 2 good movies coming out in theaters this weekend, but dude, freaking just go ahead and add X to your freaking schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely worth the watch, man. I think you'll enjoy it. So yeah, that moves on to you want to do what X does better first?
Yeah, let's freaking do it. Yeah. So what X does better? And quick note, the reason that we are kind of do these like little transition cards and all that is because we're going to go back to putting timestamps into the description. So if there's a particular section you want to go with our Slash It Out episodes, we're going to provide that to you from here on out. So that is what the transition cards are for. But moving on, what does X do better, dude? I had to control myself at one point because I was writing down a lot of them. But I guess just the main thing I want to just address is the characters. Yes. Because like the characters we got in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they were not good. For like in my opinion, either they were really annoying or, as we kind of alluded, poor decision making, where it's just absolutely frustrating. And oh, don't get me started on Sally with the final girl of how people think she's a great final girl. I am the complete opposite of that freaking opinion right there. But X, absolutely love every character they threw right at my face. Just because they do such a great job of Ty West of building them up and making us care for them, and we actually want them to live, every one of them, and that is really hard to do because you always find that one person that you don't care for. I cared for all of them. I even care for the bad guys, like with the elderly couple, because again, like old people need their loving too. But all the characters were so much fun.
Yeah, that's the biggest point I had on here as well. I thought the characters are good. And really that goes a point I kind of wanted to make is the fact that these characters are so enjoyable. They all have special things about them that make them stand out. They're all just, really having a good time together. But one thing that I thought of watching this movie compared to, watching the 2022 Texas Chainsaw Massacre before it, the month before it, if your characters are good enough, you don't need a scary villain. Like any villain you put out there is going to be scary if your characters are good enough because you care about them. You want them to survive. You don't want them to die. And whatever character you can put a 98-year-old woman in here, and it's going to be just as scary, if not more. I think this lady is scarier than Leatherface was in the Texas Chainsaw 2022 movie for sure.
Oh yeah,
And
dude. I so you made me nervous there for a
no,
minute.
yeah, not yeah, but yeah, but in the newer Texas Chainsaw, and really most of them, except for a handful, like maybe 2 or 3 of them, I think these, this old lady is more scary than a lot of people because we care about the characters. So, and a lot of horror movies focus on the villains more so than whoever they're murking, which is fine because that delivers us some fantastic villains. But at the same time, if you really want it to be scary and want it to be memorable, I guess, and just a fun time overall, like put that effort into your characters too, so you can kind of have some kind of some weight to it, I guess, to what's going on. So I thought that was good. And yeah, I think yeah, I mean, I think that another point that these characters, like I know Sarah was just saying, another point is that these characters next, they don't really make any dumb decisions yet. They still find themselves getting freaking murked, like, so I really thought that was cool. It really goes against the grain, especially in this genre, the slasher genre, because up until this point, we really just get nothing but bad decisions. And some of them are worse than others, i.e. Stranger Things, or Strangers, not Stranger Things. Those guys are cool. But yeah, I mean, they were fine. Like, they go out to help the old people. Like the guy's like, oh, I need help finding my wife. And Big Dick Cuddy's over there. And he's like, okay, yeah, I'll come help you. I was in Vietnam. And he goes out there and he gets murked. He gets taken advantage of because he was trying to do the right thing. And that's what happened with the cinematographer guy as well. And really everybody.
Yeah, RJ.
Yeah, I mean, RJ. Yeah, everybody was just found themselves in these situations and they ended up getting murked. So I thought that was cool. That was refreshing. And yeah, I think that was interesting.
And Gory, I'll go ahead and answer your question, man. What's wrong with Sally? I'm sorry, just the whole second half of the movie. What I mentioned earlier that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre characters were either just make poor decisions or they were annoying. Sally was just freaking annoying, almost at worse as Franklin as being annoying. And yeah. It's gonna be a fat chip. But no, but Sally, man, like I'm pretty sure her whole second half of the movie dialogue was her screaming. And she doesn't really even fight. She doesn't even fight back. All she does is run. And to me, that's just like a not as what we call a great final girl trait. It's just mainly run. Like she didn't even fight back. Like I understand she was just running just so she could survive, but she didn't even put up a fight. She freaking just like let them do whatever they wanted to her for most of the parts. So I don't think Sally is a great final girl at all, in my opinion.
I was going to make this point later, but I'll it's appropriate now. I respectfully disagree. I think but here's the reason why. Sally is the first ever final girl we ever had. At this point, there wasn't a trope to lean on. There wasn't really anything to compare to. So in 1974, this is the first time that you had this girl to be the last surviving character of the protagonist that you're following, and the first time essentially that you have this last female character that's going up against odds that are not favorable, i.e., Leatherface and this crazy sadistic family. So I think everything they did is fine. I really don't think there's a wrong way to do it. I think everything they did in this movie with her is super realistic. I think for what you would see in the situation, because I don't, she was severely outnumbered. There's not a lot of things she could have done at this point, and she did everything she could do to get away. And I think, at the end of the day, she did that. And she really set the groundwork down for a lot of she created a trope essentially at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's fair. Gory also says she jumped out that window pretty good. Actually, funny story about that towards the end when she jumped out the window. That was the stunt double who freaking did that, and then when they switched her out, apparently when she landed, she actually hurt her leg. So I'm like, oh my gosh, of course she didn't do the stunt and she still finds a way to get hurt. But no, it's just in my opinion. I just don't think Sally is a good final. I agree with you. She is one of the first final girls we ever get in horror movie
I
history.
think she's the first. I think she is the first. If I'm not mistaken, I can't think of anything.
It's either her or Jess from Black Christmas.
Well, those came out the same year, but I would imagine, I don't know what month Black Christmas came out in, but I would imagine it probably would have been December. They were smart.
I would think December, but yeah. So that's just my thoughts on Sally, and you made some great points too, Brad, about Sally.
It's just something to think about. I mean, there wasn't, everything after that, it's evolved. The tropes evolved over the years a lot, but I think it was a cool decision to make at the time. And it was one that, we hadn't seen before, which is something we can't really comprehend. But yeah.
I actually got a good transition real quick because we were just talking about Sally. Final Girl, what X does better. I thought Maxine, played by Mia Goth, easily a great, to me, a very good, strong Final Girl. Way better than Sally, in my opinion, by a good old country. Let's talk about a Texas country mile of how freaking good, because Maxine just really stands up for what she believes in. She knows what she wants in life, so she freaking just goes for it. And honestly, in this day and age of like where we live in now, that's really damn inspiring. So when a final girl could not only kick ass on screen, but also deliver you a strong message outside of the movie, that's a great final girl right there.
I concur. I had that on here, an exclamation point. I thought she was fantastic. She made the list very quick. Top 5, probably top 10 for sure. Lastly, with characters, going back to what I said before, X had a lot more characters make it survive longer. So you had more interaction, you had more stuff going on, you had some more fun. And really another thing that I think X did a lot better is just more fun to watch. You have comedic relief in there. You have the plowing service van, which drives around. And I thought that was hilarious. And the underwear Matt running around, like when he's running around to before he gets his eyes the freaking
whitey tidies, dude.
He opens the door with those whitey tidies. His package is showing a little bit. Kid Cudi opens the door. His freaking package is showing all the way down to his knees. So that was good. I thought that was funny. And I really enjoyed that quite a bit. The soundtrack was also super dope, which made it more fun to watch. And the dialogue in general, going back to the characters in a sense, was awesome. I thought the dialogue was very good, very engaging. You never got bored listening to these characters converse with one another. And, for that reason, it's just a fun watch. It makes it more rewatchable, in my opinion.
Oh, dude, absolutely. And I definitely had that like as a big point of what this movie does better is you freaking have fun with this. And I got a counter argument when we get to the Texas Chainsaw, what they did better. I do got counteracted like to defend that. But easily out of the two movies, X was so much damn fun. And it had, because you can also tell too, the cast freaking just were having the time of their lives. Like Jenna Ortega, Brittany Snow, Mia Goth, like they were all having an excellent time on set. It really just shines on screen too. They bought into their characters, and when those actors and actresses buy into their characters, it makes for a damn fun movie.
Right, you are, Ted.
And then really, yeah, that was the last thing I had for what I thought X did better.
Same.
All right, so let's go. Let's see. What does Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974? What does it do better? So, Brad, I'll let you start this time around. What do you think it freaking did better?
Really the biggest thing is the killers, the villains, right? I think
Mhm.
I enjoyed the villains in X, but it's almost like it's the villains in X is really more like what the fuck than as opposed to like actually terrifying. In my opinion, they are scary because again, like we care about the characters, and the stuff they do is totally unpredictable. But I think the villains in Texas, this is the best ensemble of villains that really we've ever seen in a horror movie. As far as ensembles go, I mean, you have this Sawyer family; they're all freaking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Is that a saying, or did I just make that up? I don't know. But either
Or
way,
Reese Puffs, peanut butter chocolate flavor.
Fruity Pebbles. Okay, I don't know where that came from, but my name is not. Yeah, all right. So
Your name is Jeff, but
I told myself I was going to stop saying that. But anyway, yeah, so I thought the villains were good. The Sawyer family was iconic. The hitchhiker at the beginning, absolutely one of the more interesting ways to start a movie. Very engaging. Really kind of ruined the whole trip for our gang here, going on this trip. Obviously, Leatherface is freaking iconic, and that's really what it all comes
Mhm.
down to. I think he's one of the most iconic horror villains of all time. Not quite up there with Jason, Freddy, or Michael, but he's probably fourth place. Like if you were to ask people, they've made a lot of bad movies in this franchise that's kind of lowered
Oh,
his stock.
dude, you just gave me an idea for a future tearing it up episode.
You just made the list.
Yeah, freaking made the list. I'm going to freaking write down that topic after the end of this string. But yeah, that was the big thing I had was the villains for Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Leatherface. Easily better than the villains in X with Pearl and Howard. Because I feel like Pearl and Howard were like they worked for the story they were telling in the movie with Pearl's like motivation of why she was doing the things that she was doing. However, I felt like they could really had anybody do that,
Yeah.
while Leatherface is just so damn different and so damn unique, especially during the time of 74. And based off what Leatherface, what they were trying to go for his character. I forgot the real guy's name, the Wisconsin killer.
Ed Gein.
Yeah, Ed Gein, because they were trying to like make an Ed Gein, but freaking horror like buff and all that, and it freaking works, man. So that's why I have feelings right up there of what Texas Chainsaw Massacre does better. And I'll kind of combine both of these right here. Kind of like my last 2 points is X. You have a lot more fun with X. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you do not have a fun time, but that is by design because Texas Chainsaw Massacre does a phenomenal job making you uncomfortable and it looks dirty. Like, I'm not talking about like dirty, like, because, oh, it's a dirty movie like X is, with all the sex stuff and all that. No, I'm talking about dirty where like everything looked like it was rusted, it was old, we had decay, just everything was just so nasty, and that just makes you uncomfortable. And the Sawyer family absolutely makes you uncomfortable. You feel uneasy with your main characters, even though I don't like Sally very much, but I still at times want her to get out of there or just feel uncomfortable for her with all the pure hell that she was going through. So easily, Texas Chainsaw Massacre does those little things better than X.
Yeah, man. Think about the scenes you see in Texas, like the opening I mentioned earlier, where you see that dead, decomposing body, first shot of the movie, essentially, out in the cemetery. That stuff was, I mean, you hadn't seen that before, man. And then additionally, whenever Pam goes into the house to find Kurt, and she finds herself in the freaking bone room, like it's just like it's unnerving, dude. It's nasty and grimy and just fucking gross, man. And I love that about it. And everything, really, at the end of that movie, you want to take a freaking shower. Like that's just where you're at the end of the day. Like it's just like you just feel like you went to a nasty place, and you never want to. You're never going to recover from this. At least not financially, like the Tiger King. But that's a different story for a different.
I'm not going to financially recover from this.
But yeah, they're both. I mean, they're both super disturbing, though. But I will say Texas Chainsaw is probably more so. I think the dinner scene. Again, we talked about it earlier. So freaking just like, man, just makes you feel like so uncomfortable, especially could you put yourself back in 1974 where like the only thing you've seen before this is The Exorcist and Rosemary's Baby to this level. At this point, you're sitting here in Texas with the freaking family. You're the first final girl of all time. You're sitting there. All your friends are fucking dead. And you're sitting here and this whole family, you're there with a guest and they have this freaking grandpa hitting you over the head with a damn hammer. It's just freaking crazy to think about seeing that in 1974 when there's nothing else to compare that to. How much shit did this pave the way for at the end of the day? And it's crazy to think about that. And it's not, unfortunately, that's something that we'll never experience because we'll always have this other stuff to compare it to. But I thought that's cool. But to be fair, I would rather see the dinner scene than the two freaking Pearl and Danny or whatever his name freaking
Howard. Oh, fuck me, Howard. Fuck me.
Oh no, that was freaking bad. Oh god,
it was bad, but it also just proved the fact that old people deserve loving too.
That's true. They had a good time. They're having a good time.
They had a good time.
That's the opposite of freaking Jason X. Whenever our boy goes to fuck the robot, whenever Jason's killing people, like he's actually on the run from Jason, and he goes to say, "Hey, let's fuck a robot." Now these guys are actually freaking murking people, and they're like, "Hey, let's take a pause break to fuck over here on top of Mia Goth." And I just, that's just crazy. God dang, man. But yeah, Leatherface was just absolutely brutal though in the movie in comparison to as cool as it was seeing the old lady and the old dude freaking murking people. Leatherface was he was just freaking brutal and scary, man.
Dude, absolutely. And again, you're talking about the bone room where all the bones were laying on the floor. I apologize. Quick fact: they actually got that idea from me. Even though I wasn't born in '74, I feel like they got like me in the past. Like in my past life with this idea, because after the Super Bowl, that's pretty much what my living room looks like after eating all those chicken wings.
Hell yeah, dude.
And it's going to get worse because they just opened up 2 wing places in my town too. So my room and the living room in the Super Bowls are going to be worse in the future.
Hell yes. I like it. But yeah, I mean, all that goes to say that in general, I think Texas Chainsaw is scarier than X, especially given the time it came out in. X was more of a fun time, a good time, an enjoyable watch. But Texas Chainsaw was scarier, and it comes down to the stuff I mentioned. Plus, you think about the scene where Pam's sitting there on the hook watching her boyfriend getting chopped up with a chainsaw. Like that's in the middle of the day. Leatherface is over there. He's got his face on. He's chopping Kirk up into little freaking bite-sized pieces. And that's just, I mean, just think about, put yourself in her shoes. I mean, that's your significant other over there, and they're getting freaking murked by Leatherface, and you're on the fucking hook. That's not good for a Saturday, a Sunday, a Monday, or any other day for the week. That's not a good time.
No, absolutely not a good time. Dude, that looks like that hurts too. And like our boy Dave McCray always says, theater of the mind. Like we didn't actually have to see the hook, come out of her. We could just imagine what it looks like, how bloody it is, and how freaking just like it's so much in pain she's in too. And that's a greatness of the actress as well, who got hooked on that particular death. So kudos to that right there.
Yeah, it's a testament to her. It's a testament to the filmmaking because of the angles they shot, the way they shot the hook first, and then they shot her getting, we didn't need to see it. It's just as effective, if not more so, seeing her, reaction to it as opposed to seeing it actually going into her skin. So I think that was super freaking awesome. And the sound effect too, dude. Literally every time it happens, I can feel it happening to me. And I'm like, oh God, it's awful. Sarah says that Texas Chainsaw does grit and grind better. I think it feels visceral. That's a note I had. Visceral is perfect word for it. And like a tape someone found. Yeah, just like one dirty ass horror film, whatever he says at the end. What does he say?
It's one fucked up horror picture.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It does. Whereas X is more polished. I like both. It just depends on the mood. That's a good point. Absolutely.
And I like Sarah's word right there of grit. Definitely Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's a big word you can describe that movie. It's just its grit.
Absolutely, man. I think it really has that going for it. And really X has it as well. It is more polished than Texas Chainsaw by a long shot, but in today's standards, it does feel a little bit more gritty than a lot of movies we get. And that's that lower budget A24 feel we get, which I think just mixes so well with it. Brady, lastly in this category, man, I just thought the ending was better for Texas Chainsaw.
Ooh, okay.
Well, just the idea of the bad guys winning. Sally still gets away, but Leatherface is still out there. Hitchhiker is not. Thanks for clearing that up. But Leatherface is still out there. He's out there spinning his chainsaw around. I like that kind of open ending because you're like, what's going to happen next at this point? Sally just going to go away. Nothing's ever going to happen again. Maybe she calls the cops. Are they going to show up at like it? There's so many questions that you ask yourself at the end of that movie, and the way that she gets out of there just barely in the back of that truck. While Leatherface is out there going crazy. I really like that. It's somewhat ambiguous, and I just like that quite a bit. Whereas, I mean, the X one has great too. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah, and with that ending of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it was really great. However, when they did take the Texas Chainsaw 3D, and they did kind of explain, like, did your question of what happened to the events after that, they actually did do that.
yeah, but we're not
So
talking
it
about
kind
that.
I know, but like it kind of takes it away a little bit, but not much, not much. I know we're not talking about it, but that's just for me. But no, the ending is still strong though. Like we get the iconic shot of Leatherface just tossing up the chainsaw, just doing his freaking little dance, like the Pearl dance almost in X. They almost had that. I just
Uh,
yeah, like all that. But I actually enjoy both third acts equally, just because with how much they were setting up the dynamic between Pearl and Maxine. If and it just concludes at the end, especially like with Pearl just wanting Maxine, it just goes shh. It'll be our little secret. And then at the end of the movie, after Pearl had that mishap with the shot with the freaking rifle, it just freaking flies. Maxine stares at her and goes, shh. And then just like almost drives off as she runs over freaking Pearl. And then it goes, that'll be our little secret. I thought that was freaking excellent. That's a great final girl line. So I actually hold both movies in like the same regard of what both movies do well is that last act.
yeah, I mean, the last act in general, I think they're about even, but just the last opening, like just the very ending of it, I just give the slight edge to Texas Chainsaw. I think it's one of the best endings in horror, and I think X is great though. I mean, the way it ends with the shotgun and everything is good. It's really solid. It's hilarious, and then Mia Goth riding off, doing a little coke on the ride out. I think that's good too. It's enjoyable. And then obviously the sheriff showing up at the end, the fucked up horror picture line
Yeah,
was
so was that Sheriff Barker from Halloween Kills?
not quite, but they had the same hat, so there's that.
Yeah, okay. That's got what got me kind of all mixed up was they had the same hats. So Brad, anything else for Texas Chainsaw what it did better?
No, I think that's it, man.
All right, man. So yeah, those are our four categories. So we only got one more left to do. Again, chat if y'all have any questions, please let us know. We're getting pretty close to wrapping up this particular episode. So let's talk about this, Brad. Overall thoughts and movie rating. So it's just what are your overall thoughts on both movies and how would you rate these freaking bad boys?
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw, I think is again, like I said, is groundbreaking for 1974. Never seen anything like it. Introduced the final girl, introduced really the slasher villain, which is fantastic. Set up, it really paved the way for a lot of things to come after. Michael, Jason, everything was kind of spawned from this, and I thought that was cool. Yeah, it's crazy to think to go back and go back to 74 and be like. Could you imagine watching this movie before you've seen any Friday 13th, any Halloween, anything like that? No, you really can't, but it's just crazy to think about. Did a lot of good things. X, on the other hand, I would consider it groundbreaking now. It brings us a slasher movie that actually has style to it. It's got characters that we like, characters that we're interested in, and a story that is enjoyable. And that's really I think it's groundbreaking for the slasher genre, probably the most groundbreaking slasher movie since Scream. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, if you really think about it, just bringing new stuff to the table, bringing this low budget thing back with A24, Ty West coming in strong. I really dig the hell out of it. As far as ratings go, I would give X a 4.5 out of 5, and I would give Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1978 a 4 out of 5. So I
Okay.
overall would pick X in this comparison.
All right. Not too shabby, man. I could have swore you were going to get some higher ratings than that with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So 4 out of 5. A little surprising for me, but again, that's fair and that's awesome because you're still saying it's really damn good.
Oh yeah, it's fucking
Um,
great. Yeah.
yeah. Hey, what's going on, Chase? How are you doing, buddy? And then Gory Tiger also says that I like how there wasn't traffic on the road till the end of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah,
I know, right?
were those two cars. So like, how convenient. But shouldn't get run over by a 14-wheeler. But anyways, overall thoughts for me. Let's just go ahead, just do X, get that out of the way. Like Brad says, this movie is eventually going to be it's a groundbreaking movie. Kind of brings what Brad said. Just seems like we're like on the same brain length tonight because we really just said a lot of the same things and thought of the same thing. So hell yeah, we're on point on that. And yeah, just X has style for its particular slasher movie. Brings something unique, brings something different to the table from your typical slasher movie, and it tells a really damn good story. So it explains there as well that you can tell a good story with a slasher movie, even though most people in a slasher movie just want blood, guts, and TNA, which you get in X2, but you get more than that as well. And I always appreciate gaining more than what I ask. Just it makes my movie experience so much damn better. So with X, still my third watch, I'm still giving it the golden reel. It does not freaking change at all. That's a 5 out of 5. And then the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, with all of its dirtiness and its grit, just I don't revisit this movie a lot, but I still think it's absolutely a classic. It deserves to be a classic. Leatherface deserves top 5 recognition of most iconic horror villain of all time because of what he did in 74. That again, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, great release era for his particular movie that I was doing in the 70s. It belongs in the freaking 70s, what the 70s was doing, and just going balls to the wall with all their horror movies. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I respect the hell out of a movie, but for some strange reason, I just can't give it a 5 out of 5 just because again Sally is not my typical final girl I like to support as much. I feel like she's just annoying for most of the part. Most of her like the group of friends were either annoying or just make really awful character decisions, and I know it's like, well, if they don't make horrible decisions, we don't get no horror movie. But still, for these particular people, I just didn't like him as much as I did with X. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre for me, it's a 4.5 out of 5.
Hell yes. You know, one thing I didn't really mention earlier, I should have, is the fact X is very meta at the same time without really going over the top. The way that what's his name, RJ in the movie?
Yeah, RJ.
He's talking about making this perfect porn movie, this perfect dirty movie. And it's really like talking about itself, which is really cool. Like he's sitting there like, oh yeah, I'm going to do some really cool French editing techniques, and I'm going to splice some stuff in. I'm going to have a good time. The movie actually does that. So that's actually the movie maker saying like to us as an audience, like, here's what I'm doing, enjoy it. And then also like the line he throws out, it's possible to make a great dirty movie or whatever. Like he's talking about making a great slasher movie. Mm-hmm. It's cool. I really appreciate that. And but that's beside the point. That should have happened a long time ago. I'm sorry for interjecting with some random ass bullshit. I digress.
Hey, but we love random ass bullshit on the channel. So that it's just who we are. It's just we freaking just go with the flow and have a good time. And which I had a great time. I've been looking forward to this matchup for the longest of time. We actually talked about this at the beginning of the month when I told you when X was being released. And as soon as that was released on the good old Blu-ray, which I easily had a copy of that. I had to buy that day one. The copy of that. We wanted to do this particular matchup.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think it's a great matchup, man. It's a super classic. You know, a classic movie versus new age, and I thought it was good. a lot of comparisons have been made already, so I thought it was very appropriate.
Oh, dude, easily very appropriate. Sorry, I'm still just mind blown of the poll in the chat. Texas Chainsaw Massacre with 15 votes, 60%.
Dude, that's almost like pretty neck and neck though, 60%.
Yeah, I know, but it's still crazy. I thought a lot more people would go with X, but no, hey, more power to you guys. That's freaking awesome. But
It's hard
Brad,
to beat a classic.
it is hard to be a classic. And before Brad describes how you all can make the official vote, this is kind of like just seeing where the test wars go. But we're about to tell you how you can actually vote on the winner of this particular slash up. But before we do that, the last week, 2 weeks ago, sorry, last week was our A24 stream with Jess from Discount Final Girl. 2 weeks ago, you and Chris did a slash up between Stir of Echoes and Frailty, which that was a damn good matchup. And the poll agreed it was a tough matchup, and Stir of Echoes barely won by 52% of the votes with combining YouTube community tab and Facebook. So congratulations, Stir of Echoes, for winning that matchup.
Hell yes, dude. And also 2 weeks ago, we did the slash it spin wheel. And that actually predicted that next week we're going to be having the Strangers versus Vacancy. And we're really excited about this matchup, man. I think these movies, they came out around the same time, and really, I've always thought they were really close in the way that the way the story flowed and whatnot. A lot of similar scenes, and so I put it on there, and yeah, it got freaking selected, and I'm stoked about it, man.
Dude, I am so stoked for that particular matchup. And before we could get to that week, again, let's tell people how they can vote to determine the winner between X and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So how would they do that, Brad?
They can vote on Facebook and the YouTube community page. You can find us there. Instagram too, or no?
I could do Instagram, but mainly I feel like we get more of our traffic through Facebook. We mainly get it for YouTube community. We had a total 21 votes with that Stir of Echoes and Frailty, and which is one of the highest we've ever gotten.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll Facebook and YouTube community. You can make your votes there, and we'll announce the winner from you guys next week on the Strangers and Vacancy matchup.
Yes, and for the Strangers and Vacancy matchup, I'm pretty sure at the moment we're going to go on Tuesday. Is that correct? Because I will be at the theater on Thursday.
Yeah, probably. We haven't. Yeah, so it'll probably be a different day. So it'll be Tuesday or Wednesday, probably, depending on.
Yeah, be sure just to follow our social medias, which all of it is in the description down below. And then just to keep up with the updates on when we're doing that particular session out. But I just know it will not be next Thursday because I need to go relive I just need to experience a childhood memory of seeing Jurassic Park on the big screen.
Hell yeah, and rightfully so, my friend.
Both Jurassic Park movies, the freaking 93 one and also the new one next Thursday. I'm freaking excited for that. And I'm seeing 2 movies this weekend, so be sure to follow TikTok. Me and Brad each have our own individual TikToks, by the way. I do more what we call trailer react or out of theater reactions, and also do what I watch for the month of like I recently came out one with the movies I watched for the month of May. That's a TikTok I recently did, which has over 600 views, which is awesome. Great way to start back TikTok. And my boy Brad over here has been throwing some fun movie trivia stuff on there. So if you love playing trivia games, especially with the horror genre, freaking go on Brad's TikTok as well.
Right, you are, Ted. We've had a lot of fun there.
Yeah,
we'll keep doing that for sure. And yeah, man, I think it's all been pretty solid so far, and looking forward to the next matchup. And yeah, that's good.
Oh, and then let's bring up these 2 things, and then we'll promote how Scream over time. We'll get you all out of here. This Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we are going to be doing a premiere video of Halloween, the mask ranking. So we are going to be ranking the Michael Myers mask. So you could me and Brad will be in the chat if you want to hang out with us and just see us make a fool out of ourselves ranking these freaking bad boys.
Hell yeah, it's a good episode. I'm excited to share it with you guys. It's gonna be hell fun.
Oh, it's going to be a great time. And of course, we are excited. And a little bit of a schedule change, but we'll let you know right now. On June the 27th, so that's Monday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, we're going to be having our Horror Trivia 666 stream, where it'll be the final ghouls going up against Good Will Hunting and Flopbuster. And this trivia will pertain to Demonic. So like the devil, Satan, the omen, whatever creepy little bastard decides to pop up, possession, and the supernatural. Those would be the topics. So be sure to bring your all's questions for that particular for that trivia night.
Hell yeah, man! It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. And of course, lastly, we'll do one more time. We got the House Scream Halloween franchise review series coming up starting on July the 25th with all these amazing YouTubers you see on screen. Unfortunately, the J-Man's Movie Cave had to back out, so he will not be involved in this collaboration anymore, but he does apologize for that, and we all totally understand. So J-Man, we'll get you on for something for a big review series next year.
Absolutely, man. Keep rocking and rolling, and we'll see you soon.
Absolutely. So let's freaking close this out. Guys, what do you think of X and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Which movie do you prefer? Let us know in that comment section down below, and let's get that discussion rolling.
And if you want to find good reels, you can do so by finding us on Facebook, Instagram, Letterboxd, and Twitter. Those links are down below for you to find.
Absolutely. And be sure to like this video, share, and subscribe. And of course, damn it, Chris ain't here. I'm always so used to him saying this line now, but I got to go back to it. Ring that bell. Ding, ding, ding. God, what the hell? Brad's gone. Anyways, ring that bell. Ding, ding, ding. So you all know what this next set of videos and live streams are up and ready. And I think Brad is gone. No, there's Brad.
I hit the wrong button again.
Yeah, what the hell? Like, just leave me like that. But anyways, I told them, Brad, they can ring that bell so they know when the next set of streams and videos are up and ready. And any last words?
All done.
All done. That's our good last words right there. So we're going to go ahead and close out for the night. We appreciate you all hanging out, and we will see you next time. And a toast to independent cinema.
Yeah!
Yay!